Welcome back, guys. I'm Andy. We give advice on U.S. college admissions, SATs, ACTs, college preparations, and all those related things. High school years, especially junior years and senior years, can be stressful. We try to make that easy and simple. Before I talk about today's topic, let me mention just one other thing. I try to read and respond to every comment, so please leave a question about anything on any of my videos. I will try to answer back as soon as I can. Then let's move into today's topic. So today, I want to talk to you about early decision twos. There's ED1, there's ED2. What the heck is the difference? How do you use it? How do you maximize those two opportunities? If you get in, do you have to go? What happens if you don't go? What happens if you get rejected? Can you apply again to ED2 school, the same school? Is that even possible? Let's get into all those things. Let's do this. So here we go. What is the difference between ED1 and ED2, right? Let's get into it. The difference between early decision and early action, let's talk about that first. Now, ED and EA, right? Now, there's ED1 and ED2. Doesn't matter if it's ED1 round or ED2 round, they're all decisions. Now, you have to understand the difference between this term decision and this term action, right? Let's talk about that. If it's an action, it's not binding. In other words, you can go to that college or you decide not to go and go somewhere else. If you apply as a decision, and you already made that decision, and you have to sign an agreement form given by the college saying that if you get offered, if you get accepted, you will definitely attend, you will definitely pay tuition and not go anywhere else, but go to that college. So it's binding. You're kind of reluctant to go to that college. You have to go. That's the definition. That's the term. That there is an agreement form. There is a contract that you and your parents, third party, right? Three different people. You, your parents, one of your parents, and your school counselor will sign the form saying that, okay, if I get in, I will go to your school. Now, early action, there is no such thing. You just apply early. So far, you're good, right? You're following. So the early action and early decision difference, you get it. One's binding, one's not binding. Now, then we all know that ED acceptance rate here is a whole lot higher than regular round results, right? Probably 200%, 300% difference. In other words, 2 times, 3 times kind of tougher to get in after January versus when you had applied to the same school in November or October, by November 1st as ED. Now, decision, every senior student can only apply to one school because you have to sign the contract, and even the Common App will not allow you to apply to 2 different ED schools at the same time. So you can only apply to one school. Okay. In January, if they didn't get into their decision choice schools, then in January, people start to think, okay, what the heck? I may want to apply to a bunch of other schools. What if I don't get into any of the schools? So I'm scared. So I apply to 20 other schools in December. So that's what happens. There's just number of applications kind of increase. So that's why the competition gets 2 times, 3 times tougher in January season versus November. You understand that, right? Now, this is last year's numbers, but Northwestern overall acceptance rate was 9%, decision was 25%. Johns Hopkins, regular was 9%, early was 31%. So this sort of makes sense, right? 2 to 3 times tougher. This happens the same for all the private schools. Let's move on. Now, doesn't matter. The colleges are saying, or the stats are saying, that it doesn't matter if it's an early action or decision. When people get accepted for the first time, like if people let's say some people get accepted to a bunch of schools, but there's a high chance that a student will go to the first school that they got acceptance letter from, right? So I don't know why, but that's what the stats are saying. If colleges make offer early, and the students hear about the college, they start buying hats, t-shirts, and bags, and they're pumped. They're ready to go to that college. And then later on, they hear back from some other schools, and they're not really care, unless they're like, ranking-wise, they're like way up there. But that don't really happen because early round versus regular round competition is a lot tougher, so it rarely happens. So normally, people will end up attending whichever school they got accepted in the early round. This is what we were going to talk about today. What the heck is the difference between early 1 and early 2? Now, the decision, the key word here is decision. Decision is the same thing, so it's a binding. You will sign the contract with the college agreement saying that if I get in, I will go to that college agreement form. Doesn't matter if you apply by November 1st or January 1st, or ED1 or ED2, just same contract. So it's binding. If you get in, you will have to go. Now, if you apply by November 1st, ED1, for example, you will hear the news. You will hear the results sometime in mid-December. If you apply January 1st, ED2, that's the same deadline as regular decision. It's the same date, but you just add one more agreement form, ED2 agreement form. Now, you have to remember, not every colleges do ED2s. Only a handful number of schools do ED2s, so you have to find that out. Now, ED2 schools, if you apply January 1st, you will hear back from them mid-February. Does that make sense? So it's like 6-week process. November 1st, mid-December. January 1st, mid-February. So about 5 to 6 week process you will hear back from them. If you get in, when you apply ED2 school, you will probably be applying to a bunch of other regular decision schools too, right? Because you don't know, there's no guarantee you're going to get into that ED2 school. So you apply and get it. And then later on, let's say you get accepted to top schools in regular round for miracle reason. I don't know what happened, but beat the odds and you get accepted and then you don't want to go to ED2 school. In theory, you can't do that. That's another video for next time. I will explain more in detail. What happens if you apply ED1 or ED2, get accepted and decide not to go there? That's another video. Then here's a question. Is ED2 acceptance rate higher than regular? I would say yes. No colleges report these statistics. They combine ED1 and ED2 all together, say early decision and regular decision. So we can compare those two numbers, like I said before, 2 to 3 times tougher. But they don't really specify the difference between ED1 round and ED2 rounds. But through my experience, still ED1 is a little bit easier to get in. And ED2 is a little tougher, but still a whole lot easier than regular application. Can you just apply ED2, not ED1? Yes. But you can't apply to the same college, both ED1 and ED2. If you get rejected from ED1 or deferred from ED1, that's the end of the game. You can't reapply to that same college that same year. I hope this video was helpful. Remember, try to take advantage of ED and ED2 options because their acceptance rates are tougher. But you have to make sure that you are going to attend that particular college. You have to talk to your parents, make up your mind, and give that a try. If you're undecided, if you have a bunch of other schools or you're applying for financial aid or you want to compare how much money you're going to be offered from different colleges, then maybe you don't have to apply ED1, ED2 for that sake. But generally speaking, regular round versus ED is higher. Remember that. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.